Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Ankerstar Wealth Morning Show. I'm Steve Ankerstar, your host, and today we're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about the craziness of the FTX meltdown that's been going on with our, youngest billionaire guy gone into hiding, evidently in Argentina now. Who knows what's actually going on there? But it's certainly an interesting news story if you followed through the weekend. But it's part of a bigger question of, okay, where's the crypto space at now? I'll give you my opinion on this. Certainly not, just my 2 cents, if you will. But we'll get to that here in a second. We'll also talk about a bunch of retail earnings this week. We have a holiday season coming up. Folks have said that earnings have not kept pace. And that's kind of true, but I think this will be more of a litmus test for the market of if we get some decent earnings out of the retail names, then that's going to help build that bottom, if you will, for the market to be able to again, go higher as soon as January, February timeframe when we get the Christmas earnings. Looking at retail earnings earlier this week, and then last one we'll talk about President Biden, President Xi at the G-20 meeting. Looking up at CNBC, we're supposed to have Biden on here talking soon, right before the market open. But I'll tell you kind of the geopolitical impact of that and how that could actually help things with our market as well. But before we begin, as a reminder, it's a financial education presentation, so you have to do your own due diligence before acting on anything that you hear in this presentation, as it cannot be construed as personal financial advice. Full disclaimer information is available at ankerstarwealth.com. Now let's get started. Let's take a look, first of all, CNBC.com at the FTX meltdown. First of all, so there's your demon, right? The Sam Bankman-Fried SBF, if you will, on pretty much everything out there. So he admits he messed up, and now the company's into bankruptcy, and there's a ton of money that is missing. So a couple things to think about here. So will there be contagion as far as the other crypto firms? Likely. Crypto.com CEO was on saying no, it's not going to affect them, but I think honestly you would have to say that it would, right, because of the scale of FTX. So I would expect that the crypto space is going to, the other crypto companies are going to get hit, and then crypto itself is actually in an interesting position because everything was kind of hit over this. And if you look at like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which again, my opinion, do your own due diligence, is that those do have a use in this world. Past that, it's tough to see where all the other coins and cryptocurrencies out there actually have a use. But if you really look at the crypto space, again, if you can own it outright if you want. Don't put it on an exchange. Well, I mean, do it if you want, but if you put it on an exchange like FTX, obviously you're running into some potential issues. But if you're, we were in this back, at the end of 2021, I think is when we left. Good timing when you look at this chart. But the bear market strategy, you get out of speculative stuff. Well, that means you get out of crypto, right? And don't fight the Fed. And we basically, a lot of things have gotten slaughtered this year, and Bitcoin's one of them. So again, this is a trust where you don't hold the Bitcoin outright. You hold it within a trust in a exchange fund that you can buy, like with Schwab or whoever your custodian is. Notice this is down 74%. A lot of volume lately, a lot of people selling. A lot of people say this is your chance to get out of crypto. I don't know. I mean, you don't know. No one knows what the future of crypto is. It could all completely die off, go to zero, and go away. I kind of don't think that will happen. I think it's got too much of a following, but we shall see. Then you have Bitcoin, and then Ethereum, ETHE, same thing, where you're not holding it directly, you're holding it indirectly through this trust. Again, with Grayscale, this is how I used to do this for folks until we again left it, and this one's down 77% or so for Ethereum. So it's up to you. So, but I think the bigger picture here from learning from, if you're into speculative stuff, what you want to do from a financial management is manage the position size, right? Just have a portion of it that is big enough to move the needle if you're right, but small enough to where you're not financially devastated if you're wrong, right? So that's how you manage. That's the money management part of that. The people that get on TV and have the greatest stories go all in. If you remember the FTX commercial with Tom and Giselle, are you in? I'm all in. Okay, whatever. Who knows if they owned any of it, or if they were just being paid to say they did, or pay to, not necessarily say they did, but pay to get exposure to it. So who knows? But if you want some of it, again, manage position size and go from there. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is retail earnings. Here's your retailers that are going to have earnings this week. So starting tomorrow, Home Depot, Walmart, Wednesday, Lowe's, Target, and then Thursday, Macy's, Kohl's, and the Gap. All of those shall probably tell a similar story, even though you have different flavors of retail there, including Kohl's, a discounter, which going into a recession, that's kind of the retail play, is generally get smaller, get to the discounters, because that's where people, as they start to be a little more conscientious of their spending, you're going to spend more time. Kohl's, Five Below, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, that sort of thing, and Walmart. Not that Walmart's a discount retailer, but a big box, the cheapest of the big box retailers, if you will. So something to keep an eye on this week. I think this will be, again, a litmus test for the market. If they are even just average type earnings, it meets expectations sort of thing, I think that will help form that bottom in the market that we're all kind of hoping is in now with the big move up last week. If they miss, though, that could challenge that thesis significantly. So again, something to pay attention to pretty much every day this week. We're going to get some news, and then as a whole, we'll price that in over the course of the week. All right, the last thing we want to talk about, G-20 meeting, Biden and Xi meeting. There you go. There's a picture. Is that from this year? Yes, it is. It appears it is. But yeah, so they're meeting face to face, first time since, Biden took office. So that's a good thing overall. Obviously, two huge economies. There's tension with the Taiwan situation. I personally think that's more rhetoric than in actuality. I don't see really any significant changes there, but there always could be. Certainly could be. But not something I really price in as a real risk out there. But certainly want to smooth that over and get these two folks, at least if they're not on the same page, which might not be achievable, but certainly get them in discussions of cooperating at least a little bit. And then, of course, the zero COVID policy last week in China that was relaxed ever so slightly, which could help our supply chain issues here in the U.S., which helps with inflation, right? So all in all, I think it's a net positive. It's a good time for this meeting. We've got our midterms behind us, kind of stabilizing our government. From the midterms, official announcements will flow out over here in the next couple of days, but kind of stabilizing things and moving forward with kind of a more stable footing. So all in all, I think it's a win. I think that this will be a productive meeting, or at least not counterproductive across the ocean there. So, all right, that's all I've got for today. Thank you so much for listening in. Please continue to submit your questions and comments through social media or directly through our email at vipservices@ankerstarwealth.com. Yeah, that's all we have for today's show. I'm Steve Ankerstar, and we will see you back tomorrow. Bye.